screen in a moment.
Yes, we can see it, thanks.
Okay, great.
And just letting everyone know before you start that I am recording the meeting, just to let you know, it will then be available for watching later.
Okay. Catherine, it says that you're requesting control. Do you want me to just allow that?
No, I'm not requesting it. Just because I pressed record, I just needed to capture that.
Oh, okay. No worries. Okay. So today I'll be talking about my voiceover video presentation that I completed last term for Decoration Studio. And I'll begin by showing my presentation, and then afterwards we'll share how I actually created it, just in case other people haven't watched it. So hopefully I'll be able to click on that and my YouTube will come up. My name is Jennifer Reid, and today I am presenting my Live, Bathe, Sleep project for boomer downsizers Stuart and Jane Durack. The Duracks have requested an interior decoration scheme for their living and dining areas, bathroom and master bedroom. A love of bushwalking, nature and the outdoors, socialising with family and friends, a passion for the environment and life itself are vital points taken into account when designing for this special couple. Their love of travel and particular connection to India is an inspiration, and the fact that Stuart is a lighting designer and Jane an artist has also informed my lighting choices and accessories throughout the home. In the early stages of my concept planning, an important problem-solving technique I used was mind mapping. I found this method of creative thinking and brainstorming to be really helpful in getting to the clear starting point for aligning my botanic luxe concept with my client's needs. I was simply able to throw out any and all ideas, unconstrained by overthinking, then worry about reorganising them all later. The Botanic Luxe style speaks of elegant metals, reflective surfaces, exotic timber, natural leather, and beautiful textiles. It spells individuality and imaginative attention to detail. Creating a sophisticated and refined space inspired by design elements from around the globe, this living area of the home is refreshingly modern and luxuriously comfortable. Materials and furniture will look as if they've lived a life before coming into this home for added charm. It's all about well-loved pieces that could very well have been sourced from a far-flung market in some exotic location. My clients love polished surfaces, so I've chosen a polished concrete floor throughout, which acts as a wonderful neutral base for the entire space that is also extremely durable, on trend, but timeless at the same time. To ensure this surface passes Australian standard slip rating requirements, a non-slip sealant will be necessary. Small local suppliers have been chosen wherever possible, and full details are shown in my schedules. First, we'll visit the living and dining rooms. Window treatments chosen take into account the fact that Jane and her grandson often sleep during the day in this space, so the harsh bright light streaming through the windows and the amount of heat that comes through in summer has also been considered. Double curtains, shears to let light in, with the addition of a block-out lining with thermal and insulation properties to reduce
Okay, Google, stop playing.
And extreme heat in summer is the best solution. I've favoured neutral colours for larger pieces of furniture, as my clients are less likely to get bored, and it will allow them to update with a few accessories in years to come, a much more sustainable approach. My aim has been to opt for classic designs that will hopefully remain relevant and engaging indefinitely though. Staying away from plastic and investing in furniture made from wood and rattan and showcasing quality craftsmanship will stand the test of time and ensures a focus on sustainability. The soft, natural leather lounge is quite the hero piece in this space. Comfortable, durable, stain-resistant, and easy to wipe clean, especially for those times when Stuart or Jane are feeding their grandson in the lounge room or entertaining guests with a scrumptious cheese platter and a nice drop of red. A concrete coffee table, round with no harsh edges, is safe for young children. I'm particularly excited about the side table, an artistic stack of timber and stone, unique in its structure and perfect for my creative clients. A beautiful rug brings a happy splash of colour into the room and warms the cool concrete floor. This rug is called Shadows by Hare and Klein from Designer Rugs. Each rug employs hemp, silk and other materials to create a layered, textured feel. Expert Nepalese weavers from Kathmandu hand knot the designs using the traditional abrash technique, which hand dyes Tibetan wool in small vats to create interesting and unique colour variations. This meets the brief well, taking into account my clients' love of nature, sustainability and art. The artwork in the lounge room is a nod to India, the special place where Stuart and Jane first met, worlds away, but always close to their heart. The low timber console positioned beneath a wall-mounted smart TV for placement of ornaments and storage, a selection of cosy cushions, creating layers of texture, pattern and interest. Quality materials that will last. A single white fabric and timber armchair, along with a grey armchair with matching ottoman, are a perfect combination for my clients to relax in. One for each of them, to choose their own favourite for watching TV or having an intimate chat. There is seating for up to 6 people at the table, catering for visiting family and friends, but additional guests can also be seated close by in the comfort of the lounge room. The concrete and timber rectangular dining table has ample space and can easily be used for other activities like a children's play or drawing area, a place for study, reading, writing, board games, sewing, art making, or any number of things. Note that the edges are not sharp, so is still a safe design. A large mirror in the dining area to add glamour and class to the space above a timber shelving unit, artistically designed for books, glassware and more storage space. A hat and coat stand for convenience, throw rugs to bring texture and warmth, indoor plants to bring the health benefits of biophilic design into the space. And lastly, for the entire living space, a raked ceiling with exposed beams, painted white as a beautiful feature, giving a spacious, open feel to this whole area. Now to the bathroom. My aim in creating the perfect botanic luxe style in this bathroom is to embrace the mirror as a focal point of interest, reflecting light and adding depth and presence to this sophisticated area of the home. Clean lines and natural textures make this space a chic and chilled out hideaway to bathe all of one's cares away. Filled with natural luxe materials, concrete, timber, greenery, bringing nature and the outdoors in, with the addition of crisp white porcelain, fresh, clean and contrasting with black accessories, luxurious and on trend. Then we have the plush olive green toweling, bringing warmth, luxury and colour, a generous rain shower head to spoil and soothe, and the gorgeous handmade blush pink feature tile wall with large circular backlit mirror as the focal point. The configuration of the bathroom has been changed and a custom single panel of glass added for the shower screen, as I don't believe a shower over the top of a bath is safe for a baby, or anybody else for that matter, especially for Jane, who recently had a hip replacement. A slimline 3-in-1 exhaust fan is specified to avoid a build-up of moisture and mould, but a pendant light is also included for a touch of style and luxury. Rather than a freestanding heated towel rack, I've specified a wall-mounted version above the bath, which is safer and out of the way, creating more space for the timber ladder and exciting lava stone stool. And finally, the master bedroom, a chic approach to a botanical look, blending moody green tones and lush indoor plants to create a truly romantic oasis. By bringing the beautiful art of botanical patterned featured wallpaper, this look becomes less casual and effortless and a little more refined. There is an earthiness in the textured layers and colour palette, elevating the look and keeping it timeless. Plants are a really beautiful and fun way to add interest and depth here. A natural jute rug large enough for Stuart and Jane to step out of bed in the morning and be greeted with comfort and warmth underfoot. Suitable window treatments for privacy at night and considered lighting during the day. A queen-size bed with fabric headboard that stops under the window and decorated with the most luxurious and natural linen bedding. Lots of timbers and storage. The bedside tables, the bench seat to comfortably sit while dressing and slipping on shoes, the desk for letter writing or art making, the armchair for sitting down to work, to read a good book, or to just sit and relax in the light and warmth of the window. Wall lamps above the bed for nighttime reading or mood lighting, with a gorgeous matching copper pendant light. The Morris & Co. wallpaper, truly a spectacular feature. The birds, the earthy tones, a botanical haven, and a glorious artwork by a talented Indigenous South Australian artist to grace an adjacent wall perfectly. And to finish, a custom wardrobe featuring rustic yet contemporary shaker doors, a storage space large enough for his and hers sections, and including 2 large central push-to-open mirror doors and convenient hydraulic lift flap opening doors at the top for loads of extra storage. A clever use of space has been key for this Live, Bathe, Sleep project. These empty nesters might be downsizing, but they're certainly going to continue living life large. My Botanic Luxe concept is smart downsizing at its luxurious best. Thank you.
So, what is a narrated slideshow? It's basically a simple sequence of images accompanied by a narration. I really like it as a way to present information or express the understanding of any topic without nerves or stage fright setting in. Sometimes when there's a lot of information to cover in a presentation, you either race ahead because you're worried about boring your audience, and so you miss a lot of important points, or you talk way too much and start to ramble and go off on too many tangents, losing the attention of your audience somewhere along the way. So I'm hoping not to do that today. The 2 applications I used for this presentation were iMovie and QuickTime Player. You can obviously use lots of other apps or software, but this method is my personal preference as a Mac user, and I just find it quite simple and user-friendly. My first step in the process was to save all the pages I wanted to include from my Live, Bathe, Sleep InDesign files as individual JPEG images. So I saved them into a separate folder in chronological order and then went on to write my script as I looked at the images. When writing my script, I needed to think about how best to keep my audience engaged while getting across the many details that needed to be included in the project. There was a lot to cover, so I needed to be really organised. I initially asked myself 3 questions. Firstly, what is the client brief? Here I had to refer to the client brief quite regularly, pinpointing exactly what my client's personality is and requirements of the client, and talk about how these requirements are met by the particular details and objects that I included in my design concept. For example, in slide 15, I said my aim in creating the botanical luxe style in this bathroom is to embrace the mirror as a focal point of interest, reflecting light and adding depth and presence to this sophisticated area of the home. Clean lines and natural textures make this space a chic and chilled out hideaway to bathe all of one's cares away. The second thing that I asked myself is, why did I choose particular design objects, colour palettes, materials, furnishings and inclusions for each space in my concept? So here I referred to how my choices related to the elements and principles of design. For example, in slide 7, I said my clients love polished surfaces, so I've chosen a polished concrete floor throughout, which acts as a wonderful neutral base for the entire space that is also extremely durable, on trend, but timeless all the same. And then I asked, who are my audience? And here I needed to take into account that I was presenting to my make-believe client, as well as my teacher and my fellow classmates. I wanted to tell a story that would be engaging and hold the interest of all in my audience. It was the story of my client that I wanted to share, but also the story of the makers, such as the Nepalese rug weavers. My own story and why I chose particular colours or pieces of furniture. And I also wanted to make my audience feel like it could even be their story by explaining how a space might function, sharing a meal around the table, relaxing in your favourite armchair, escaping into your bedroom retreat. Those are all examples, and my aim was to have my audience actually picturing themselves in these spaces. And my hope was that my storytelling would sell my concept. So when writing my script, I went through each image one by one and worked out what I wanted to say. Then I read it aloud and I edited as I went, changing it to make it flow as smoothly as possible. I wanted my writing to be a bit more conversational than formal. Once I knew the contents of my script, it was then time to use QuickTime Player to record my audio, saving separate audio files for each slide and popping them into a folder in chronological order again, like the image files, ready to import into iMovie. You can use Voice Recorder on your iPhone, or you can use Record VoiceOver in iMovie itself, but I just prefer QuickTime. I actually sit in a quiet room and use headphones to create the audio to try to get the best quality recording possible without professional recording equipment. And you could record the whole script into one audio file, but I like to do it slide by slide and have breaks in between. I just find this easier than trying to read a whole script all at once and risk making mistakes, which are harder to fiddle around with and fix in iMovie. It can be done, but I just think it takes more time to do. And in the long run, I just find it easier that way. A point to stress here is the quality of the narration. So we're aiming for a script that communicates our information effectively, but we also need to speak as clearly as possible and at a comfortable pace. So not too fast, not too slow. You can certainly tell the difference between a narration that puts you to sleep and one that keeps you interested and engaged. As you can tell by the dog who's sleeping, we don't want anyone to fall asleep during our presentation. So this is a demo script that I did so that I can actually model what I did to create my presentation. So I'll actually create a little presentation today based on this short script about myself. So that's just basically 6 slides based on 6 images about me. So I'm going to go live. So I'm hoping that you might enjoy watching it happen in real time. So I'll just escape out of that. Is everyone still awake?
You were also
Yes,
great, Jennifer. Thank you.
Yes, awake.
Awesome. So I'm going to actually open QuickTime just to show you. Can everyone see my screen still?
It's very clear. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to just show you that in QuickTime, it's basically as easy as saying File, New Audio Recording, and then pressing on the button to start recording. So when I'm ready to start speaking, I basically tap the record button, and then at the end of that particular slide, I stop and save it. And I'll open up iMovie now. I just find that if I just do slide by slide, my voice doesn't get as tired and I can have a drink in between and all of that sort of stuff. So when you first open iMovie, it has this plus button on it where you can create a new file. And we want to make a movie. So we just press on movie. And here you can see an import media button. And if I press that, I'm first going to just import all of my images from my desktop. And I've just saved it as demo slide images. And I'm going to click on the first one, press shift, and I'm using a Mac, and then press onto the last one and then import selected. So they've all imported and they're not necessarily in the order that I want them in, but I can just drag them down into my timeline. So they appear here in the media section. I click on the first one, click on the last one, and then drag them into my timeline. So that's the beginning of my movie. I know just from my script that this one here at the end is in the wrong spot. So all you do to move them around is click on it and then move it over into, just undo that, grab it and move it into that space. And I'm pretty sure that that's how I want it to be. Now, if you have a look at the top right-hand corner, you can see as I drag this along down the bottom, it's showing you all of the images in a movie reel, like a preview. But notice how they're moving in a way like that I actually don't want them to move. Some people might want them to be like that, but I actually don't. I just want them to be in a static position. So instead of, it's called Ken Burns, that effect that it was giving, but I just click on fit. So I could do it one by one with whatever image I've selected, but I'm actually going to click on all of them at the same time, go up to this crop button, click fit, and then click out. And as you can see, it'll just scroll through and it'll show the whole image, which will fit into the screen. Everyone with me so far?
Looking good.
Yes, Jennifer. Yep.
So now I'm going to go up here and import my audio. So I will click on that button there, which will bring up the same importing folder, but I want to bring in my audio. So from slide 1 to slide 6, and then import selected. And then here you'll see all my audio files, and they're like little waves. So wherever the waves are is where my voice is, obviously. And again, I like bringing my audio in one file at a time, and so that I know what file is which one. You can't see the name of it if you just click on that file. You can't see the name of it, so I don't know if that's slide 1 or slide 6. So up here on the right hand side, you can click on info and it will give you the information about that file. So I know that that is number 1. So we'll start with number 1 and drag in that file, and I want to attach it to that first file, first image, and there it is. But as you can see, I'm just going to play that for a minute, and you can just press spacebar and it'll play.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Reid, a designer based in Sydney, Australia.
And then press spacebar again and it will stop it. But notice how my audio goes longer than my image. So when I press on the image, I can actually lengthen that image to meet the end of my audio. So if I
Based in Sydney,
click
Australia.
again, and it goes on to my next one, ready for my next audio slide. So I'm going to do the same thing, make sure that's slide 2, bring it down, and I'll just quickly do that and drag those out while you're all watching. Make sure that's slide 3, bring it down, make that slide longer. I'm assuming that's slide 4. You can see it as you're dragging it too, and when it comes down you can sort of check that it is. So you could bring them all down and then swap them over, but I just find it easier to do it the way I'm doing it. And then we've got the last one, and just bring that to the end. So up here on top of the timeline, you can see that so far the total of time frame of my video is 56 seconds. So it's pretty short. But when you're doing a long presentation, it's important that you try to keep it within whatever time frame you've been given. So if you've been given a 5-minute spot, you want to keep it under that. If you've been given, 15 minutes, etc. So a way of doing that is, if you notice the audio here, if I press play at the beginning of that audio,
Hi,
my
I'm
voice
Jennifer
doesn't
Reid.
start until that wave begins. So I can actually clip that audio. So if I put the marker here, my cursor just in front of where the wave starts, and I right click, I can actually split that clip, press split clip. I can then highlight that beginning clip where there's silence, delete it, and I can bring my audio back to the beginning so that it will start.
Hi, I'm Jennifer.
My audio virtually straight away. So then I can, even though I started on 56, I've just clipped 2 seconds off that clip. You can go ahead and do the same for all of your clips as well. Now,
Hi, I'm Jennifer
so
Reid,
the other
a
thing
designer
is,
based in
I'll
Sydney,
just show you
Australia.
this. See how it just quickly jumps from there to there
When I'm not
to the
busy
next image. I think it's nicer when there's a bit of a like an effect that is a bit more gentle. So here you can Let me just try to remember where we're going to put in the cross dissolve, it's called. So I'm just going to go into, I think it's modify. No, edit. Sorry. I thought it was in here. Oh, yes, it is. So edit, add cross dissolve. So what we're going to do is we don't want a cross dissolve at the beginning. We want to start the cross dissolve on the second slide, so it comes in between the two slides, and we want it to go right to the end. So if we highlight all of our slides and then we edit and add cross dissolve, you see that when you preview the
Based
video,
in Sydney, Australia.
there's a lovely dissolving effect in between each of the slides. It's just easier on the eyes. If you hover over it, you see that that cross dissolve is 1 second in length. If you click on that and let me just double click on it, you can actually reduce the duration or extend the duration. But so if you're worried about the length, again, that's another spot where you can try to reduce your video as well. So I'm just going to play and see how we went on making this, if everyone wants to listen to it and learn a little bit about me.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Reid, a designer based in Sydney, Australia. When I'm not busy creating, you can usually find me exploring new places to eat, going for long walks in the countryside, or swimming in the ocean. Family, travel, nature, and life itself are some of the many things that inspire me. I'm dedicated to exploring new ways of making art and continually nurturing my creative soul. My qualifications in education, graphic design, and interior design inform my art and design work, inspiring my passion for creating beautiful spaces. I love working with people to bring their creative dreams to life.
So there, we've made a video together. And now if we want to save it, we have to press on File, Share. And I normally press on File again. You can like save to all of these. So depending on what you're going to post your video to. But with my presentation, I press Share and then File. And then here you can say this video is about me. It's an iMovie, video and audio. 720p resolution is normally fine. And it's still high enough quality and would still usually fit or be able to be uploaded to most formats. You can choose lower qualities, etc., if you're trying to make a smaller file. And I don't normally change the compression speed or anything. So, and then you press next and save it wherever you want. So I'd just be putting it on the desktop. And it takes a little bit depending on how big your video is, and it will pop up and tell you when that's saved. So you can see on the right hand side it's just got a timer telling you how long it's taking to save your file. And this shouldn't take too long because it's not a really big file. So it's thinking and moving, sorry. it's nearly finished, and I can't see the chat box, so I'm nearly finished my presentation, and there'll be time to answer questions at the end if you're wanting to
And
ask.
James has just put in the chat box, Jennifer, that you can do the same program with the PC. It's the downloadable software, so you've all got access to Adobe Creative Cloud, and there's also programs in that which we can use. So if you read through the chat, guys, you'll see lots of really good comments.
Yeah.
How you can make these work.
Yeah.
But I think what's been really fascinating, Jennifer, is particularly in an era when we have to do a lot of online presentations, whether it's just for one assignment or for your end of year graduate exhibition, you know, it's a really innovative tool to be able to have commentary over graphics in a very seamless and elegant delivery.
Yeah, and I think it's just what people get used to. I mean, there's Adobe Premiere Pro, you can do a narrated PowerPoint. I just find, like, you can use QuickTime Player. I just find that this method is just much more simple for me. I've just gotten used to it, but I think everyone finds their own way of doing things. So
yeah, and it just means that you find a platform and a level of technology that you're comfortable with. And, you know, I love your idea of practicing with it and, you know, take any slides and images and do a narration over it and just get used to using the technology before you have to do it for a major project presentation, so you don't have that adrenaline and that stress.
Yeah, exactly. And I think you can sort of use it, like, there's so much more in this program or in any program. So yeah, it does take practice, and you've just got to get to know it. And Google is and YouTube are a great resource to ask questions if you're stuck on things. And so my share has been successful. So I'm just going to minimize that just to show you that on my desktop is my movie. So it'll open up, and there we go.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Reid.
So that's done successfully. So then I'm just going to go back into iMovie just to show you that if you click on the projects button, it will then save your project into iMovie itself. So if you're, you know, you don't want to lose the actual foundations of your movie, so that you could go back and change anything, add anything. Yeah, if you've noticed once you play through that there's a mistake or whatever. So I'm just going to keep it at my design exchange demo and press OK. And there you see it there.
And Jennifer, you imported JPEGs from your design project into the iMovie platform to start with. And I think that's one of the benefits of working in InDesign is we can export pages as JPEGs. And in PowerPoint, you export a page as a JPEG. So, you know, having your design portfolio in platforms where you can export a JPEG as opposed to doing a screenshot, you get a much clearer resolution in the end result.
Yeah, exactly. And you have I stopped sharing my screen now? Sorry.
Yes, I think so. And Fiona just said in the chat that she's very happy to do a quick overview of QuickTime for PC and Adobe Muse Captivate for everyone and post online. So that might be a great session to do later on, Fiona, in another Wednesday one as we get further on in the course.
That'd be awesome. I mean, I don't use Windows, but I do have QuickTime on Mac. So yeah, as I said, it's just whatever you're used to. I guess you stick to those things, but it's always good to know other programs.
I think, Jennifer, that our students have a mix of Macs and PCs, and I'm talking to you on a Mac at the moment, but I do have a PC laptop. So I'm very happy just to do a quick overview. And if it works out, I could actually record myself doing a tutorial on them, but I'm not going to promise that for anyone. But we'll definitely, I'll post some links to some YouTube videos on how to use those for everyone.
Yeah, fantastic. And James is just saying that InDesign can have audio clips, which you can add for an interactive PDF. And there's a great platform called graphicriver.net which I use a lot. They're templates that are designed by graphic designers with interactive plugins. So, you know, if you don't want to, you know, dive deep into setting up that file, you could always use a pre-existing template that has all of these plugins built into them, and you use the interactive PDF. So I think, Jennifer, you know, this was your Certificate 4 project at the very beginning of your study at Design Centre Enmore, and the level of technology and innovation that have used, I think, has inspired everyone up to our senior bachelors. So thank you so much for taking us on that journey and showing us how you experimented with technology in your program. And more than anything, I think what I really loved was the way that you added meaning in your commentary, where you really thought about what was required of you from a student or a designer with the brief, how you met the needs of that brief requirements, how you spoke about it with clarity and calmness, so that every element of the work that you chose had meaning. Your decoration solutions were, you know, resolved with a decision that had purpose. And I think that authentic, ethical approach to how you took a decoration project is very inspiring. And you know, thank you for sharing. It's great.
Thank you, Catherine. It was my pleasure, and I really enjoyed all of the teaching and learning, and thanks for the opportunity to share this with my fellow students who are also doing amazing work. So I feel grateful that I could offer some help in some way. I hope it was helpful today, guys.
Jennifer, it's Fiona. We just had one question before we sign off, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure.
And there's also one thing, I was meant to do an acknowledgement of country at the beginning, so I will do that quickly before we dash off.
Yeah.
But there's a question from Helen about, she was asking if you'd experimented with showing yourself and your audio in a window at the side of your presentation.
No, I haven't, but that's a really nice idea, Helen. I think that it would personalise it a little bit more. And if anybody knows how to do that, I would love for that to be shared in the Moodle maybe. Because
I guess I'll add that to my list too.
Yeah, I think that's really great. And the other thing that James said is that InDesign can have audio clips added for an interactive PDF. I haven't done that as yet. I just added the YouTube link at the beginning of my presentation. I made my slides in InDesign, obviously, and then when you export it or save it as an interactive PDF, you can have live links. So that's really handy. So yeah, I'll have to look at the audio clips. Thanks, James.
Yeah, thank you. Me too, because I use InDesign professionally in practice and have been for years, but I guess you don't explore it to that extent, and it's probably only because of COVID that we are actually exploring all the capabilities of these programs. Yeah. But yeah, I'll happily have a look at that and sort of wrap it up in an email and send it to everyone as well.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
Thanks. So just before we finish up, I guess we'd like to end by acknowledging and paying respects to the traditional custodians of the land on which we're all on today. I'd like to pay respects to their elders, past, present and emerging, and acknowledge any Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islanders who are here today, and also pay respects to their elders, past, present and emerging. So thank you so much, Jennifer.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Jennifer. It was great.
Absolute pleasure.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.